What's going on, everybody? We are back here live here on the OT Radio Show. And listen, y'all, we got a very good show for y'all today. But before we get into that show right now, y'all, we need to talk about the scholarship program that we are offering here on the OT Radio Show. If you take a look right there, boy.org. We had team.boy.org to start a scholarship for high school seniors that have a 2.5 grade GPA that are going to school for the medical field. Yes, y'all, for the medical field. Now, listen, it ain't got to be for college. It could be for a 2 year college. It could be for just a plain old technical school. This scholarship is for all three because the reason everybody ain't for college. Most people are for community college. Most people are for technical schools. So this is for y'all. So I would tell every parent out there to encourage their kids to go ahead and sign up for the application. Application deadline December 15th. Yes, our goal is to have 10 kids. Yes, y'all. OT Radio Show is planning on having 10 kids and helping 10 kids for college. Yes, 2.5 GPA and high school senior. That's all we ask. And for anybody that are willing to donate to this scholarship fund, all you had to do is go to boy.org scholarship at the Ring Tansy Moore Scholarship. And guess what? It is tax deductible, y'all. Yes, it is tax deductible. So you can write it off on your taxes. And now for today's show. Ah, today's show was a real good show, y'all. Today I'm going to have best-selling author, podcast host, just like your boy Yo T, CEO, life strategist Rachel B-Foy. Yes, she is joining us here today to talk about her book, best-selling book, I Quit. And when I tell y'all, this is going to be good, this is going to be good. The how to guide to letting go of everything that is holding you back. Woo! Because I know there's a lot of things that's holding y'all back. And she here to talk about it right here with your boy OT. So our producer says she is in, ready to have this beautiful conversation with us. And let's go ahead and bring her in. What is going on, Miss Rachel? How are you feeling today?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling good, OT. Glad to be here.
Yes, glad to have you on with us today. Well, well, first, before we get started, let me say thank you for joining us here on the show. We definitely appreciate you joining us, to taking out this little time to have a conversation with this little person here, your boy OT. So I definitely appreciate it. Now let's jump right into this right here. I quit.
Jump in.
Now, yes. Now, before we get into that, go ahead and tell everybody where you're from and, tell everybody how did this start to manifest?
Sure. Well, I always start with, hey guys, it's Rachel B-Foy. I am known as the life strategist and the creator and founder of the iQUIT movement. And where did iQUIT start? I can tell you that it started like over 14 years ago, unbeknownst to me. But where it has derived to today is it's all about choice. We have so much power within ourselves, and we can't choose what happens to us in life, but you better believe we can choose how we respond to it. So it's about giving the strategies of how to really live your best life in balance and identify what success really looks like for you.
Well, let's dive into that right there. Because, when you talk about I quit and talk about balances and choices, what do you mean about that? Because, a lot of people take the I quit thing like, oh, we're just going to go ahead and just quit my job. And then they like, I think I made a mistake. So let's give our people a little bit of
Mhm.
lessons about that.
Well, I can tell you the first thing I'll tell you, OT, you hit it on the head. Do not run out and quit your job and say Rachel before told you to. That is not true. Do not quit your job unless God above tells you to do that. Don't do it. But I can tell you, that's the first thing when I posted about I quit is people were like, girl, you quit your job? And I was like, no, I did not quit my job. I did later once I was led to do that. But I quit was about, I can tell you, I was texting on the phone And I was standing in the kitchen with my husband and I was texting on the phone, and he just saw my entire demeanor change. And he said,
Mm.
"Why do you let them do that to you? Like, you stand so firm in who you are, but when you text with that person, your whole demeanor changes." So I can tell, like, everybody that's listening, you already know, you have people in your phone that when you see their name or their number come across, you like, I'm not answering that. Or, nah, I'm not answering that text. So I quit was taking back my power, like understanding that I'm not going to allow other people to have the power over my emotions. I'm not going to allow other people to have the power to affect whether I have a good day or not. We often feel like it's other people when in actuality, we have the choice and the power of how we respond. So it started there as far as recently, and I ended up doing a live, and the live went viral. And then I was approached, my mentor asked me about doing a podcast, and so we did that. And I tell people all the time that what they see in my life has been a process. And so
Mhm.
when I actually did quit my job, I didn't know why. I didn't want to quit my job. I'm a believer, I'm a kingdom builder. I believe in Jesus Christ. And I just felt that I was being led to quit my job. And I'm like, well, hold up. Like, I'm a quit, but what we gonna go do? Like, what am I supposed to do if I quit this job? Um, and like Martin Luther King say, you may not see the whole staircase, but you see some stairs. So I'm like, okay,
Right,
Lord, if
right.
you say so. So I did end up quitting. I talked about it, talked it up with my husband, and I ended up quitting. And fast forward, unbeknownst to me, 3 months after I quit, my
Mhm.
mom became detrimentally ill, and she ended up
Mm.
having to come and live with us. And the doctors all said, like, if there was not someone who was there with her during that time to go walk with her, we're not sure that we would have her here today. And that was over
Wow.
about 4 years ago. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So don't
Mm.
run out there and quit unless God tell you, and have a
Yes,
plan.
yes,
Okay.
yes, 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 yes. Because when you talk about in the book, you got strategies and how to take back.
Hmm.
You a lot of key words start coming, and that choice word came in a whole lot. Let's talk about that word that you use in the
Hmm.
book, choices. And can you tell our listeners and people that's going to be watching on the replay why that word came up so much in your book?
So I can tell the basis of where I realized that I actually had choice was over 14 years ago. And so my husband and I, we were newly married. We had been married about a year, and we found out that we were pregnant. And so we were
Mm,
pregnant with my son. Needless to say, there was trepidation. I wasn't sure, but I'm like, okay, God, let's do this. And
mhm,
fast forward, I had a difficult pregnancy, and we actually lost my son. He died at 3 months. And
mm,
so that challenge, what I realized is I had to quit worrying about what people said. I knew that I needed to go to counseling to work through the loss of a child. But in our culture, it's like, you pray to Jesus, leave it at the altar, and that's it. And for me, I
mhm,
needed Jesus in therapy. Okay. I had to have therapy. Um, and so that was the beginning of I Quit. And so going through the process of losing my son, everything I had ever believed, the foundation was shaken. And one day I woke up and I found out that I had the power to choose, that I
mm,
could stay where I was depressed and wallowing where I was at that moment, or I could choose joy. I could
mhm,
choose to thrive. I could choose to continue living. And that 14 years ago, after the loss of my son, is when I realized, wow, I actually don't have to live like this. I can thrive in life. I can actually make the choice day by day, moment by moment, how I decide to live. And
Mm.
that's really where choice came from. Hmm.
Well, because I like that because you saying that counseling, because it is a stigma
Hmm.
in our culture that counseling is not
Yeah.
good, right? And like
Right.
you said, and I'm sorry because I started giggling for a minute because the fact when you was like, oh yeah, you know what I mean, pray to God and everything will work out right. We tend to do that a
Hmm.
whole lot. We tend to do it a whole
Yes.
lot. So that time when you went to counseling, can you tell our listeners and
Hmm.
people how did it transform you to now? Because you said yes, you had a choice, but I know that you went through counseling for a
Hmm.
while. And what were some
Right.
of the things that helped you get through, the passing of your child?
Well, one of the things that really helped is that I didn't understand that grief is, well, I knew that grief was an entire process, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't allowing myself to get angry, if that makes sense. So I
Mm-hmm.
would not allow myself to get angry with God because I had been taught, like, you don't question God, you don't get angry with God. And so when I was in counseling, she helped me to understand I was actually stifling my healing process because I wouldn't allow myself to go through the entire grieving process. And so once I was able to continue through the grieving process, the healing began. But the greatest thing that was beneficial for me with counseling is having someone who was completely unbiased listen to me. Like, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel judged. I could get out the things that I needed to say, and I didn't have to be strong. And you see my air quotations, like the
Mm-hmm.
greatest strength was me being vulnerable. That was my greatest strength in life is I allowed myself permission to be vulnerable and to be honest. And that was the second part is being vulnerable and being honest and releasing what I had seen or believed what strong was. And then the last, or I'll say like the third thing was understanding that the same way we go to a doctor when our body doesn't feel right, the
Uh-huh.
same way we may go get a trainer when we need help losing weight, we may get a
Mm-hmm.
nutritionist. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
actually needed a counselor to help walk me through this tragedy that I was dealing with that I had no way of navigating through. So it was understanding the same way we go get help for other parts in our life. Like, it only made sense for me to to find someone who could help me through that process.
Right. So now let's fast forward because now the I quit. Because
Yes,
now y'all got to, because I like to say talk about backstories first because
yeah,
everybody just see the book, right? No one don't see
yes.
what went into the book. So now y'all got a glimpse of what went into the book. Now let's start talking about this book right here. Let's talk about the mindset and the mission of this book because I got to know the mindset that you had and the mission that you're going to have with this book. Because I'm telling you, when you start to read some of the stuff in the book, it's mind blowing that
Mhm.
this is the stuff that are happening today, every day with everyone. I don't
Mhm.
care what people might say, oh, no, that's not
Mhm.
me. In some shape or form, that is you
Mhm.
that you are talking about in this book. So
Mhm.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about the mindset and the mission of this book.
So the first part of the mindset is understanding. I talk a lot about toxic relationships. And
Yes.
oftentimes we think about our relationships with other people, but the
Mm-hmm.
first toxic relationship that I had to correct was the relationship with myself.
Mm,
I was the first one. It was
mm,
actually me. Like,
mm-hmm,
when they say it's not you, it's me. Like, it was
uh-huh.
literally me. It wasn't anybody else. And
Right,
so
right.
walking through, it was really my mindset where my grandmother told me something when I was very young and I carried it with me. And she said, baby, if you don't believe it of yourself, why should anybody else? And
Mm,
so that stuck with me. Like, what are my thoughts with myself? I am searching and wanting other people to love me fully and love me completely. And I haven't done that myself. So I had to shift my mindset from searching for what I thought I was looking for and understanding that I needed to go within, because everything I needed, everything I desired, everything I wanted to be successful was already within me. So I had to go within. So that's what I mean by mindset, is shifting our perspective. And
wow.
then mission, with
Mm-hmm.
mission, it's just helping people understand that they don't have to live that way. And what did that mean? So I'll tell you a story. I was working in corporate, and I had been gone for like a week on the road, and I came back. And whenever I come down the hall, like, I'm talking and laughing and giggling, and a young lady was like, "Oh my goodness, we missed you. Like, we missed hearing your laugh. We missed hearing your smile." And she said, "I wish I woke up like that. I wish I was
Mm,
happy like that all the time." And in that moment, I paused, because I'm like, they actually don't understand. I'm not Beyonce. Like, I didn't wake up like this. I did not I didn't wake up happy. I didn't wake up excited. There was actually a routine and a process that I went through every single morning to get myself centered and prepared for the day. And I began to realize that people didn't know my backstory. People didn't understand that the person they saw in front of them just years before had been deeply depressed. And I did the
mm.
work to get out of that depression. I did the work for to have gratitude. I did the work to see the silver lining and not the negative things. I did the work to see the glass half full and not half empty. So the mission is ensuring that particularly women understand that they have the power, and they don't have to lose themselves in motherhood. They don't have to lose themselves in being a wife. They don't have to lose themselves in being a volunteer. They can be all of those things, but don't forget you. And so I work a lot with women, both in organizations and group coaching, but we've actually shifted to now I work with school districts, working with young girls with our Empowered to Be program, just about that: empowered to be, believe, and excel in themselves. So that's the mission.
Well, I was about to get into that right there because I wanted to talk to you about your enrichment program that you had. So let's talk about that because you brought it up. You know, because you talked to young ladies. Let's bring it up. What went into starting this program? You know, because I know you said you started talking to the young ladies out there. What was the vision behind it?
The vision behind it is I actually taught after corporate America. I always say I got the call to education. So I
Mm-hmm.
was actually in education for 17 years. I began as
Wow.
a special education teacher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I taught fifth grade math. I also became an instructional coach, and then an education consultant going out to districts across the United States. And
Mm-hmm.
so, being having been a teacher, I've been blessed with two daughters, 9 and 10, and
Mm-hmm.
understanding the pressures that young girls face. And I know what I faced in school,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even have social media. So now
Right.
young girls have social media. They're trying to compare themselves to photoshopped and unrealistic images. So
Yes.
there was a need. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we need to make sure that you know who you are, whose you are, and what makes you so special, because beauty starts on the inside. It starts on the
That's good.
inside, and it starts with what you believe. So that was the call to action, is how do we empower this generation, these young girls, to be confident in who they are and really understand their value beyond their looks, but their talents and their unique abilities that are God given.
Well, you know what? I had to give you a big ups right there. We got to give you your roses now. Give you your roses now. Got to give you your roses now because you know you are helping the youth, especially the young ladies out there.
Yeah.
Social media is just social media is something special. I tell you, everybody on social
Hmm.
media, got a business. Everybody on social media does this, but then when you really see them in person,
Hmm.
it really ain't like that. You know what I mean? Certain
Right.
people do have some
Yeah.
things, but certain people don't. So just a mere glimpse of really uh,
Yeah.
phoniness. I'm not, I'm not gonna get on all that right
Yes.
there because I got my own little thing about it. You know what
Wait.
I mean?
But yes, but OT, I'm with you. I'm like on one of my videos, I say like I quit people who are fake and have some foolery because what
Yes.
you see is what you get. Like we're not gonna be fake. We're gonna be for real, and that's one of the things that we also talk to the girls about. And many of the principles come from my book, like the Empowered to Be program is based off principles from the book, Pillars from the
Hmm.
iQuit book. And it's
Hmm.
all about who are you? Like, how do you not be fake? Like, when people meet me, who they see online, they are shocked that that's who they meet in person. Like, this
Hmm.
is not a personality. This is all me. This is Rachel
Yep.
B-Foy. This is her. It's her.
Well, let's talk about you giving back because you are a co-founder of Eight Impact and it's a nonprofit organization. So let's talk about that because through your enrichment program, through the book, now you're giving back. And even though you're giving back through your program, right? This is real good too.
Mhm.
But this is a nonprofit organization. So
Mhm.
let's talk about that. How can people, get into your program and how can people donate because I'm pushing this donate thing like it ain't no tomorrow because
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah.
start donating to organizations that are doing things for the kids and are using the funds for the kids. So let's talk about
Right.
that.
So I can tell you, I'm a co-founder of Eight Impact, and when we first began Eight Impact about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, it was with that same intention. It was really to give girls those social skills and what I call the playbook. It's like all the
Hmm.
unspoken rules from how you have a handshake to making sure that you're giving eye contact. We talked about how you can be dressed for success, but dressed and draped in confidence. And we're not necessarily talking about the clothing. And later we get into etiquette and how we can polish resume writing and things like that. So the nonprofit really focuses on a lot of those soft skills as well as ensuring that the young girls are being active in the community. My co-founder and I, we began the program in our hometown, of
Hmm.
Palestine, Texas. Whoop whoop, East Texas, P Town. So we um we began the program there, and we were part of a parade, and we did some other things there. And so now we are at the point where we're trying to regroup after COVID and what have you. But that's the basis of how we started, and that's the mission, definitely moving forward.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Because it is needed. Because I'm going to tell you something. I work in corporate America, and I tell you the
Hmm.
resumes that I see are like totally ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I interview end up turning into let me show you what to
Mhm.
do on your resume because I have
Right.
seen
Let
some
me help you.
interesting
Hmm.
yes, I have seen some interesting resumes out there. Um I just gave you one story and I'm glad that you are helping, the young ladies do them, the resumes, but I'm going to say fellas too. We need help
Yeah.
because one guy said, don't miss me like they miss LeBron on his resume. I said, you know what? Like I had to
Oh
really
wow.
interview him. Listen, I had to interview him. I said, you know what? That is one of the first resumes I ever seen with your
Yeah.
objective, and that's what it says. And it was an eye catcher. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
actually going to miss you. I told him, I said, very unprofessional,
I'm gonna miss you.
very unprofessional, very. And
Yeah.
but I just had to know who you are because I tell you,
Yeah.
I mean, people was laughing because you know how corporate America is. They laugh at the roses.
Yes,
We
I
see them
do.
first, right?
Yeah.
What I mean, we see them first. We're like, oh, dude, what? You know what I mean? So I am
Right.
glad that you are helping out because I don't think the school system, certain school systems, I'm not going to say all because it's not all. I'm not going to put
Right.
them all in a box, but certain school systems are
Mm-hmm.
not teaching these kids the how to write a
Mm-hmm.
resume and how to go to interviews and stuff like that because now things are
Mm-hmm.
so open. They are forgetting that image. You know what I mean? I'm not saying being buttoned
That's
up.
right.
Just saying,
Mhm.
just
Right.
be act like you want the job. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
that's why I try to act like
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, just act like you want the job. And I would say this loud and clear on the radio, um,
Mm-hmm.
and on podcasts and stuff. I understand that marijuana is legal in certain states.
Mm-hmm.
Don't smell like
Mm-hmm.
it when you come. Do it
Mm-hmm.
afterwards.
However,
And I would,
comma, don't smell like it when you come. Yes.
yeah, that's it. That's it. I don't care. I don't care if you're smoking like just don't smell like it when you come. Because boy, oh boy. Woo.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, young youth
Yeah.
out here,
Yes.
we just had
Before they ever enter the room, they already
yes.
know what's happening. Like, yeah, that's not the look. That's not what we're going for.
Mm,
And that's
no,
so much of you, even empowered to be an I quit is it's all about choice and helping young
mm,
people understand. Like I have young people often that I work with, and they're like, well, if this is me, if this is me. And I'm like, but you have to understand that you have choices. Nobody's
yep.
saying that you can't be you, but there's a time and a place for
Mm-hmm,
everything.
mm-hmm,
There's still decorum. And what I had to realize is, unfortunately, some of our children have not been taught.
yep.
It's not necessarily that they're being disrespectful. It's also what they've seen. This has been okay. So they don't know
Mm-hmm,
any different. So part
mm-hmm,
of us being able to empower and equip them is actually giving them the tools like, hey, in this area of life, that may be perfectly fine. Like you can dap somebody up, say whatever in
yep.
this part of life. But when you're going in for an interview, I need a firm handshake. Do not dap.
Yep.
I need a firm
Yep.
handshake. Okay.
Yep.
Like I need you to look me in the eyes. And
Ah, yep.
just sometimes they just don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we here to help. We here to help. We're definitely here to help because I tell you,
We're here to
I
help.
talk about because I love them. I love them because they're going to
Mhm.
outlive me. Some of them going to outlive me, and we need them for the future.
Yes,
And like I always tell people, I love y'all
that's
to
right.
death. I love my millenniums to death. You know what I mean? Because they help out with a
Yeah.
whole lot of things. You know what I mean? So well, I
Hmm.
appreciate them, but I just want them to know that there are certain things that you can't do. Like I tell anybody,
That's
until
right.
you own, until you own your own and realize the things that are
Hmm.
happening, you won't never understand. So,
That's right.
just understand some certain
That's exactly
things.
right.
Yep. Yep. So let's talk about it. Where can people find you at? Where can people go get this best-selling book? And OT is going to order another book because I got a sample of the book, but I'm going to order mine, and
Okay.
I would like to get mine autographed if you can. You know what I mean? Because pretty soon we getting a
Absolutely.
studio remodeled, which we will be having on in the background. We're going to have a bookshelf for all our authors that joined us
Yeah.
and their book in the background because at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody that comes on here, authors, celebrities, anybody, and we're gonna have their stuff in the background to show them. So because a lot of people like looking at people background, like, oh, what's that in the background? Like to zoom
Right.
in. Well, they're gonna
Yeah.
be zooming in on y'all. They're gonna be zooming in on y'all. They're gonna be like, hold up, wait a minute, I never even heard of this person. Oh yeah, you did now. So they're gonna be
Hmm.
zooming in on y'all. So I'm just letting you know that I
That's
will be
right.
getting a
That's right.
copy. Your book, and I appreciate you so much for joining us here on the show. But where can they find you on all social media platforms and websites?
So across social media, they can find me at Rachel B. Foy, and it's at and my name that's on the screen, Rachel B. Foy. And then my email address is Rachel at rachelbfoy.com. And then my website is all very simple, www.rachelbfoy.com. And if they're looking to purchase the book, they can order that online at amazon.com. And they can also order it through the website. If you would like an autograph copy, you can DM me or send me an email, and we actually have books that I can autograph and mail out to you. So you can find me across all social media at Rachel B. Foy.
See, there it is, y'all. Well, listen, thank you again. I enjoyed this conversation. I appreciate you so much. Welcome to the family, as we say here. You are now part of family. So I would say, what's up, cuz? How you feeling today, cuz? So now you are with us today, and you are with us
Yeah,
forever because. So listen, we appreciate you. Enjoy
I
the rest of your
appreciate
day.
that, OT. Thanks, cuz.
No problem,
Yes,
cuz.
I appreciate that,
So
cuz.
look.
Yeah, I'm here
Enjoy
for it.
and all right. I love it. I love it. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Give love to the family because now you're
Yeah.
family. So give love to the family. Tell them I appreciate them for allowing me to have conversation with you out your spare time. And we will see you soon. We will talk to you soon because I know you got some other things that's going to be going on soon. So keep us up to
Yes,
date with it.
sir.
So, all right. I appreciate you. You have yourself a good one.
All
See
right.
you
Thanks.
later.
You too. Y'all have a
All
great
right, bye
one.
bye. Oh,
Bye.
good show, everybody. Good show. Make sure y'all go ahead and check her out, Miss Rachel B. Foy. Make sure y'all go check out her book, I Quit. Let me tell you something. If y'all didn't learn something today, y'all learned something today. As I always tell people, if you ain't learned something today, I bet you learned something today. But listen, make sure you go out there and get her book, I Quit. It tells you a lot, y'all, because I'm telling you, toxic relationship, toxic jobs, everything. It gives you a guideline. Now, not saying that the guideline is just for you, but I'm telling you, it's a guideline to help you get through anything that you want to get through. I appreciate everybody for listening with your boy OT. Appreciate everybody. And like I said, welcome to the family because y'all are all family. Tomorrow we got another good show for y'all. Tomorrow we have on B. Davis going to be joining us here on the show, and we're going to get into talking about them NFTs. Yes, your boy OT is talking about NFTs, and it's actually a event. Film event going on down there in New York. We're going to have him on to join it just for a couple of minutes to talk about it a little bit. So yes, tomorrow we're here, and I'm telling you, we got some more good shows coming up. In September. But there's one good show that your boy OT will be on. I will be on the Speak On It show. I am taking over his show. Yes, your boy OT is taking it over. We're going to call it the takeover. And I will be interviewing Mr. RW, who's here. And we're going to be talking about him because he's celebrating his years in radio. And why not? I am taking over the show and I'm going to be interviewing him. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and check it out on Saturdays at 10 a.m. He is on Speak on the Show. Make sure you check out my other partner, DJ Wiz, on let me tell you something. Go to Alexa and type in Wiz Radio. He's the CEO of it. And my man be bringing it. Christian hip hop, y'all. Christian hip hop. But hey, like I said, I appreciate y'all so much for joining us here on the show. Make sure y'all go ahead and tell the young kids out here today that you love them. And remember, we got a scholarship for them. Got to have a 2.5 GPA. High school seniors, parents, I encourage y'all to go ahead and fill out the application and write that essay because it's all about the medical field. I love y'all. Y'all be good. And thank y'all for watching. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Hey, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. Peace.